The biggest thing for Native Americans are their creation stories. So in the Cherokee creation story, they believed that there was a sky world and then there was the earth. The world that all the insects and animals and such lived on was suspended above the water, and it was getting really, really crowded. So they sent down the beetle to try to find more space on the water. And so he traveled all around the water trying to look for a dry place for the animals to live, and he couldn't find anything. So he dove beneath the water and he pulled up some mud. And when he brought the mud to the surface, it slowly spread out and, it covered much of the water. The mud was still wet, so nothing could come down and live on it. So when they finally suspected that the land was getting more dry so they could live on it, they sent down the great buzzard. The great buzzard is the father to all the buzzards that we see now. And so he flew down over the land and he flew over what became the Cherokee territory. And he started to get really tired, so he flew closer and closer to the land. And wherever he beat his wings down, it formed valleys. And wherever he lifted his wings up, it formed mountains. Eventually, the animals were able to go down and they lived on the land. And they were told that they had to stay awake for 7 days and 7 nights. The ones who were able to do it, like the owls and jaguars and the big cats, they were given the gift of sight at nighttime, and they were able to hunt the other animals who weren't able to stay awake and eat them. And then the trees that stayed awake for the 7 days and 7 nights, they're the ones that were able to keep their hair for the entire winter, or their leaves, such as the evergreens that we see today. So on this new dry land, first it was the plants and the animals and the bugs, but eventually came man and woman. And at first, man and woman, they were brother and sister. They decided that they needed more men and women to occupy the earth. The woman had a child, and then she continued to have children every 7 days. But then it grew to such a large amount that they thought they would take over the entire world and there would be no space for anything else. So they changed it now so that women can only have a child every year. And that's how men and women and Earth came to be, according to Cherokee.